Testing. 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 Is that annoying you? I'm sorry. How are you? You look good. You look very good. You look sexy. And you know what? I feel sexy. I feel good. Things feel good right now. Things are looking up here in Duloc. So what's going on, everyone? And welcome back to Potted Plant Entertainment. My name is Chris, and in case you don't know, I review movies and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. Today, we'll be reviewing Where the Crawdads Sing. Speaking of Crawdads, this has nothing to do with Crawdads. I apologize if you can hear the crickets. I say this every freaking video because I can't block them out. I got a suitcase here to try and block out as much of it as I can, but these crickets are so loud, and they won't stop being so loud, and they're so loud every night. And you know what? I'm just gonna keep complaining about the crickets because the crickets are really making me that mad. These crickets are the bane of my existence, and I hate them. Okay, I hate these crickets. They're so loud, and there's so many of them. They're just out there making noise for no reason. Like, can't you just be quiet? You're a cricket. You're not that interesting. Nobody cares. Anyways, so we're going to be reviewing Where the Crawdads Sing. This movie came out about a month ago, and I didn't get the chance to see it because I've been busy. I saw this a few days ago, and so we're doing a review now. I saw this on the same day that I saw Beast, which, by the way, if you haven't seen my review for Beast already, check it out, which you probably have because it's been getting a lot more views than I thought it would, and thank you for that very much because that video's been blowing up. It's now my second most viewed review. Actually, I think it's my second most viewed video now, isn't it? I think so. Yeah, I think it is now. Which is crazy, because, like, I've had reviews where, like, I put more effort into that one in my Elvis review, which is my most viewed review. My vlog for getting the Batman, that's my most viewed video. But those don't get as much views. And that's just the way that YouTube is sometimes. Like, my favorite video I ever made was my review for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That has, like, 40 views. But then my review for Elvis has, like, over 600. And that was just another one of my normal reviews. So, anyway, people are weird. Alright, the YouTube algorithm is weird. So, that's the way it is. So, let's talk about Where the Crawdads Sing. This is based on a hit book that a lot of women like. And, in fact, so many women like it that at my screening for the movie, I was the only guy in the theater. And I'm pretty sure I was the only person there who wasn't middle-aged. It was filled with just nothing but middle-aged women. I think there were a few, like, younger women in there, but 99% of that audience was middle-aged women, and they were all crying at the end. So, yeah. Alright, this is a spoiler-free review, by the way. So, just putting that out there. I should mention that at the beginning of all my reviews, but I don't because I keep forgetting. So, let's talk about Where the Crawdads Sing. It stars Daisy Edgar Jones, Taylor John Smith, Harris Dickinson, and David Strathairn, and it was directed by Olivia Newman. And this movie tells the story of an abandoned child who raises herself in the swamps of, I think, North Carolina is where this is supposed to take place. And she ends up getting into this love triangle, and this is just about her life over the years and the struggles that she goes through as an outcast to the local town, especially when she's accused of murdering one of the boys in their love triangle. So I didn't know what to expect going into this, and I almost didn't go see it. But then I looked at some pictures of it, and I was like, oh, this looks like a really pretty movie, so I should go see it. And it was a really pretty movie. So I very much enjoyed this movie. I might have liked it a little bit more than you. I know it's getting mostly positive, but mixed reactions is what I've been seeing. I don't know how faithful it is to the book. I've never read the book. So I'm judging this solely based on how it is as a film. So let's go ahead and get into my pros and cons. For one thing, this movie reminds you of the simpler things in life. Like to just take a break and go outside and stomp some really loud crickets. Just nice things like that. But in all seriousness, it does make you kind of stop and just think, go out into nature. Nature's nice. It's beautiful. Think about the simpler things in life. Think about what life will be like for you when you get old. Like, the decisions you make now will impact you when you're old. Like, you ever watch The Irishman? And you look at the life that Robert De Niro lived in that movie, and he was living the high mob life, and then you look at him at the end of the movie, and he's this lonely old man in a elderly home, and his daughters hate him, and the only person he can talk to is a priest who he has to beg to stay because he's the only person he's got to talk to. So, you know what I mean? It makes you think about where you want to be at the end of your life, the simpler things in life, the beautiful parts in nature, and I appreciate that it gets you thinking about things like that. The music was really good, really, really good. I really enjoyed the whole movie. I was listening to the music, and I don't think I've ever done that before, so good for them. The casting was done really well. I love the little girl that they casted to play the younger Kaya, who's the main girl in this movie. She did a really, really good job. Everybody in this movie was fantastic, especially Daisy Edgar Jones. She was really, really freaking good in this movie, so props to her for that. All the performances were really good. All the casting was really good. The ending was really good, and I won't spoil it for you, but when the movie was wrapping up, I was like, okay, this feels super cliched. But then they threw a wrench in there, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. This has got 10 times better. So I very, very much like the ending. The cinematography was gorgeous. And this movie was all filmed on location, and they frame this locations really, really well. And you get to see some really, really pretty parts of nature, and it all looks great. The filming locations were all really good. I don't know where this movie was filmed, but wherever it was, it was a nice swampy area, but then there was also like a little beach, and you got to see the sunset come down, and they framed all that really well. A nice little town. It was all really, really, it felt real because it was real. Like, it was filmed on location from what I could tell. I like how this was more about Kaya's life rather than the supposed murder. Because throughout this movie, you don't know if this dude was murdered or if this was an accident. You don't know. And so and throughout the movie, it cuts back to court, but it's not really entirely about that. It's more about Kaya, her as a character in her story, and the court thing was just sort of something that was in the background, and I liked that. I thought that was more interesting than the whole drama with the dead guy, in my opinion. So I appreciated that was more on the forefront than the murder stuff. Murder/possible accident, you don't know. Anyways, it also does a really excellent job of making the audience care about Kaya. Yeah, I really fell in love with this character. She was a really good character, and it's partially because of the performance, but she was just written so well, and I really, really got into her story, and I always wanted to see what she was going to do because I was really into this character. Because she's such a great character, and the writing was really good. We get to see all the highs and lows of Kaya's life, and that helps keep the story interesting as well as it goes up and down in her life. It hits all the right emotional beats. I also liked how Tate, who's one of the guys in this love triangle, they sort of present him as like this perfect guy, but then they throw in there, no, he's not perfect. He's got flaws, and I was like, that's good. Thank you for that. The love triangle works. It's cliched, but it works. I was always interested to see where this movie was going. I was never bored. I was always completely into this film the whole runtime, and it sends a good message about acceptance. So let's get into my cons. So for one thing, there is some narration in this movie by Kaya, and it's not bad. It just feels like the movie didn't really need it. Like, they could have just anything that she explained through narration. It feels like the characters easily could have made it clear to us, and so they could have removed the whole narration. It just felt really unnecessary. The passage of time gets a little jumbled too. This whole movie pretty much, like, from the adult perspective, Kaya takes place throughout the 60s, and there's times where they're like, oh, it's 1968. I'm like, wait a minute, but I thought this was 1965 or whatever. So I got a little confused there. And also, it's kind of cliche. This feels like, I don't want to say this movie feels like a Hallmark movie, because I feel like that's really an insult, but this feels like what a Hallmark movie should be. If Hallmark made really, really good love movies, this is what it would look like. So this just feels like if Hallmark did a really good job, a really, really good job, this is what we would get. And so I think I like this movie more than most audiences did. And so with all that being said, I'm going to give Where the Crawdads Sing a 90. I was kind of torn between a 90 and a 95, and I walked out of the theater thinking 90, but I marinated on it a little bit more, and I think I walked out of the theater thinking 95, but I marinated on it a little bit more, and I think I'm going to go with the 90. I think I'm comfortable with that rating, but that's still super high, 9 out of 10. Like, enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I would. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Potty Planet Entertainment for more. Hit the like button. Leave me reviews, suggestions down in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Potty Planet Entertainment for channel updates and other cool bonus content. And much love. Oh, by the way, because if you follow me on TikTok, you would have already got my straight out of theater thoughts for this movie. You wouldn't have had to completely wait on this review for my thoughts. So I'm just, you better follow me on TikTok. You, and you're probably sitting there like, no, bro, the Chinese government is like tracking my keystrokes and stuff. I'm not doing TikTok. That's okay. I don't blame you. But you should still